What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, as well as Litecoin. And I have a couple of interesting things to share with you guys. I actually had one of my subscribers reach out to me on Twitter, which you guys can do as well. I believe I have my Twitter linked in the description down below. He sent me his view on the XRP trading view chart that I would like to show you guys because I found it quite interesting. As well as I had another subscriber actually decide to get the same or similar decal of sticker that he put on the back of his truck, similar to what I did with my car. So I thought that would be pretty cool to share and shout him out. But otherwise, we will be going quite in depth in regards to the technical analysis aspect. Bitcoin and XRP seem to be hitting some sort of resistance nearing their high-low MMA. We can see it on Bitcoin, Litecoin, I believe Ethereum as well, hitting a resistance. And I do want to discuss that, go in depth with you guys, as well as we will look at DueDEX and figure out whether or not it's a good time to sell short, wait it out, or kind of just see what exactly is going on. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So hopefully you guys like that intro. Is the distance a little bit better than it was before? I know I had a couple of people who didn't really like how close I was, so I moved it back and you guys can pretty much see more room of my studio, which I kind of liked, and hopefully you guys like that too. Otherwise, I do just want to dive right into today's episode. You can see yesterday we made a video where the XRP and cryptocurrency charts started to hit the resistance on the high-low MMA. We finally caught back up, retested the high-low MMA. I believe it was on the daily, and now we all of a sudden started to kind of get intertwined with that. We may actually break bearish from that. So you can see that's why I highlighted yesterday's video. Now, I do just want to really quick shout out a couple of interesting technical analysis and pictures that I did mention earlier today. You can see this was created by one of my subscribers who sent it to me on Twitter. You guys can do that too. It's at Crypto TV Official on Twitter, and you guys can send me your charts and things like that. He private messaged me this, and basically what he's doing is he's showing or comparing his XRP chart very similar to what I have on mine in regards to mine having a major descending fractal forming, a major descending triangle at that. You can see where it is right here that I'm referring to. We can even see it on the weekly as a very, very, very strong downtrend right here that started for the past 3 years as it's finally hitting resistance and support. You can see very similarly on his chart right here, you can see the very interesting pattern. He's pretty much referring to that Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, XRP, Bitcoin, and all of the other cryptos are basically starting to repeat history. More specifically, XRP and Bitcoin are. I've mentioned this numerous times on my Bitcoin charts, but XRP, from what he has found, is showing very similar movements. You can see right here how we have he's going all the way back to like 2014. This is the XRP dollar chart on CoinMarketCap. You can see right here that we do have this bottom support, and then we have the chart slowly but surely coming into some point of descending movement. You can see the descending volatility and price right here before immediately blasting off, where we then have another descending fractal that broke off again. So he's kind of figuring out that we're in the same sort of pattern right here in this descending volatility, very similar with the past breakout right here back in 2017 before we had that major pump. And you can see he looks like to be thinking that we're at the end here before seeing the next bullish movement to the upside and then seeing that descending fractal, which could be breaking us up even higher once again. So it's a very similar patterns. Obviously, this is the 3D chart, so it's a little more extended. On mine, we just merely have it all combined on the Bitfinex chart. This is the Bitfinex weekly to US dollars, and you can see that this is more of a descending fractal all in all, which does come to some sort of endpoint right here, which is what I'm looking at. You can see for the most part that we are getting very close to what appears to be the high-low MMA, very similar with the other coins that we'll be looking at in a second, and also with the resistance right here, which you can see we've had problems with in the past, and we eventually break bearish. Ultimately, what I do think is going to be happening with XRP is in the short term, we'll most likely hit that resistance up at 22 cents, retesting the high-low MMA, and then ultimately breaking bearish and consolidating back down to 16 cents, playing this out until about February or March of 2020, and then we could be anticipating that bullish break to the upside, very similar to where his charting is right here that you guys can see. I ultimately also believe that we will see a big rush in volume come the end of XRP's descending fractal. This is about 3 years of momentum and 3 years of consolidation now that we're probably going to see unravel very, very, very quickly, similar in the past. He's predicting all-time highs. I'm going to play the conservative end and think that we may retest our previous highs, but I don't think we'll hit all-time highs just yet, and I don't want to just kind of, permabull and put some uncertainty in the markets right now and some, good faith and hope. Honestly, I want to give an unbiased, emotionally detached XRP analysis, and I do believe that my conservative approach would show us maybe retesting $2.50 to $3 at max on my conservative level if we do decide to break bullish from the end of here. Now, I do want to also shout out another subscriber. You know who you are. He's actually one of my Patreon subscribers, so huge shout out to him. He actually he asked me for the link, and I sent him the link for the Crypto TV sticker decal on the back of what you could put on pretty much anything, but he put it on the back of his car, and I think it's awesome. He sent a bunch of pictures in. You can see right here, I guess clearly snowy there, but he's going to do his own advertising of the channel, basically showing how he's made enough money to afford the car, and I guess he's done it with a bunch of technical analysis, crypto people on YouTube. He's dedicated. He said he learned a lot on this channel, which is actually awesome. You can see him right here. He has a public channel right here, a public Instagram, and you can see what he says. Who says Bitcoin doesn't pay? My winter ride. He actually was able to purchase this GMC right here. Absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to him. And honestly, that's what I'm trying to push on this channel, guys. It's just basically my information, my knowledge on the technical analysis. Pick up what you want, dispose of what you don't want, and then base your analysis and, your investing off of a ton of different strategies. Make it a melting pot, and hopefully, most definitely, you will be fairly profitable and fairly good. Obviously, don't just use my technical analysis as well. You can use everybody else's. And if we kind of have a similar technical analysis and similar pattern, you can be fairly certain that that pattern is going to happen. And also use your own judgment too, because nobody on this YouTube platform is, a financial investor. So do consider that as well. I give you guys my personal opinions on the market and base what I am going to do. And I pretty much show you guys my wins and my losses as we continue on into 2020. Now, to furthermore discuss Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, just a quick flash of what exactly is happening. You can see Ethereum hitting its white resistance on its descending fractal right here at 146. We have Bitcoin hitting its resistance on not only a descending fractal, but the high-low MMA. And the same thing goes for Litecoin, breaking bullish outside of the descending fractal and hitting its high-low middle moving average. So when we use all three of the cryptocurrencies, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, we can pretty much judge and assume that we may be capped right now in regards to how high we can be moving. We're having a lot of fluctuation right now. Ethereum, for one, is hitting its resistance, and I'd be very surprised if we break bullish outside of here. Ultimately, I do think we will see a conservative correction to the downside, a very small one, maybe back down to about 138. And then we could fall as low as 123, if not retesting the bottom at 98 with a quick flash crash like we've seen in the past here. Ultimately, you can see every time we get intertwined with the high-low middle moving average as well as the resistance, we tend to break downwards. It happens over and over and over again, very, very, very sporadic and very quick. So ultimately, that's my expectations for what's going to be happening here. Maybe some more consolidation, downtrend, and then an immediate break to the downside here. Same thing can be said with Litecoin, finally retesting its resistance up here. I'm shocked that it broke out of its bearish white descending fractal that you can see right here. But we're honestly hitting overbought on the daily RSI, which is another indication this is probably the cap as to how high the coins are going to move. And I'm honestly anticipating a correction or some sort of retracement to the downside. And we could even see a $27 retracement. I don't want to be super bearish, but I don't think it's over just yet. Ethereum, not so much close to being overbought, but Litecoin definitely is. Now, in regards to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is definitely on one of the most interesting charts, and this obviously has everything to do with DueDEX as well. We know on DueDEX that we've clearly hit some sort of resistance right here, and I did have a line drawn, and I can just move it up. You can see back in September, we had a clear resistance pattern right here where the price was having a support as well as a resistance. Eventually, we started to climb back up, and now we're retesting this once again. And it's once again acting as a firm point of resistance on the coin. Now, ultimately, we could see some sort of bearish correction or some sort of correction to the downside ultimately within DueDEX, and I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin's, trading view charts here to pretty much gauge what exactly is going to happen. And I'm pretty much sticking firm with my pattern in regards to the fact that I do believe with the confirmation of this uptrend here, there's a good chance we're going to see sideways movement, a retestment here, and we could do one of two things. Obviously set a new high, breaking our previous high, indicating a new bull market is forming. If we see something like this, we'll be setting higher lows. You can see right here, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll ultimately break our previous high right here at the $8,100 marker, 8,200, and it'll indicate a new bullish market is forming. What we could also see is a retestment here, and then an immediate break. We could trend on top of our descending fractal, and then we could inevitably break through here. This is another option and something we have to pay close attention to. Now, a lot of you guys wanted to make money off of this very small run right here. You guys can see this is about a 12% jump, if not 13% jump on Bitcoin. We can also consider that with this price being right here, we could also experience that same, 10 to a 12% drop or 13% drop in Bitcoin right now. The fact is we're very close to being overbought. The high-low MMA is where the price is intertwined in. The MACD is fairly, overextended, and we're seeing a lot of resistance being retested. We look okay in regards to Bitcoin's 4-hour. You can see the clear resistance band right here as we get intertwined with the high-low MMA, but I do believe we're going to use this support one way or another at the bottom right here. And if we can break through here, then there's a good chance we're going to head even lower. Ultimately, it's coming back down to the next couple of days. Honestly, this could be a good short position, but we just have to wait for that confirmation. If I can see a candle close or the price drop below this green band right here, then I'm fairly certain we're going to see an immediate correction back down to $7,400. That's about a $700 drop in the coin, and it's a pretty steep one at that. Now, also we have to consider another thing. With this correction, we should set a stop loss off here that if profits start to recede back higher, we'll ultimately take profits because there's a good chance we could correct back up and bounce off this support. But there's also that other possibility that we could come down and then break lower. Ultimately, I'm really not anticipating a break to the upside right here. I don't think there's really much movement and room left in Bitcoin. I'm more specifically referring to some sort of break like this or some sort of correction up here. But ultimately, I do believe we're going to be retesting this support before we see any sort of movements. Now, on the weekly, you can see that Bitcoin is now above its high-low MMA, which is very interesting, and we actually haven't been above this green band ever since, the red band ever since May of 2019. You can see we broke the resistance in, I believe, April of 2019 of the white band, the green band. I'm losing my colors, but you can see we're kind of doing the same thing right here, but we are hitting a resistance, and there's a chance we're going to fall back inside of this this wedge right here that we have. This is honestly crazy to see us kind of intertwined in here. Last time we were like that pattern, we ended up breaking bearish, which is what I was anticipating here. We managed to actually break bullish from that, but who knows? This may not be the end. We may see more consolidation back down inside of the supports right here, inside the high-low MMA, and then we could be anticipating some sort of break in either direction. And I do just want to pull up the MACD on the weekly really quick to kind of gauge where we are. Yeah, I mean, we look fairly bullish on the weekly, so obviously long-term we could be seeing some higher levels, and honestly I do anticipate some higher levels as the halving comes within Bitcoin in May of 2020. I do believe we will see some bullish prices, and I do believe we will be retesting $13,000. So if your goal is just to hold on long term, I do think that's a great opportunity because I do think we will be eventually heading up to those price levels, and you could make off of an $8,000 investment about a $5,000 one if we shoot up to 13K. But ultimately, in terms of short-term leverage trading on DueDEX, which I highly recommend you guys sign up for, it's the first link in the description. I do anticipate a small correction down here. Set your stop loss at about $7,400 once we bottom out, and then I'm expecting to see movements to the upside. As for XRP, it's just more consolidation. Like I said before, a clear immediate retest of 22 cents and then immediately dropping back down to 16. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's episode, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.